Hello peeps and welcome back to Modded Minecraft with Nightdagger Season 5. So, I'm picking up right where I left off. Really haven't done anything since the last episode ended. So let's get on with it. We got a lot of stuff to do before we get to a point where we're ready to start playing around with some of the fun mods. One thing I did do is I looked over here and I found some gravel. So, let's go ahead and dig up just a little bit of the gravel. Get a couple pieces of flint. So we can make ourselves a flint pickaxe. I'm not sure that it's really any better than a stone one, but let's see. And is there any sugarcane around? Haven't seen any yet. But I suppose we can go take a look real quick. Get a little bit better feel for the land anyway. I know we've got this meadow over here with another mountain on the other side of it. But I haven't really looked too much around the area with the apple trees. I looked far enough to find the apple trees, but I didn't really look at the shore nearby. There are lots of botania flowers around here, which is really good. Alright. We got any sugar cane out here on the beach? Doesn't look like it offhand. Cave nearby though. But this is okay because even if I don't find sugar cane nearby, we have ways of getting it anyway. I am going to take just a little bit more of a look around. I kind of want to get a little bit of the area mapped out. Get a feel for what we're looking at. There's some sugarcane. So we're going to bring this sugarcane back with us. There's some more over here. A couple pumpkins also. We'll grab some of them. Or at least one. Cotton seeds. A little more sugarcane over here. We may as well grab it. Close enough. That should be enough for now. And then we'll just head back home. Oh, is this oil or is this sludge? It's somewhat transparent, so I'm guessing it's sludge. So definitely don't want to step in there or end up poisoned. And right now, I'm a little bit low on hunger, so granted with Hunger Overhaul you still regen even if you're not at full health or full hunger, but rather not push it. Grab a couple of bites of berries to sustain us until we get back home. It's very nice having these apple trees so close by. And then there's moo cows here, which I might end up coming to kill a couple of them in a bit here to get some leather. But I'm not going to worry about it too much right now. Alright, so plans for this episode. Chicken! More sheep. Plans for this episode. Make ourselves a pickaxe and do our first little bit of mining. I think is going to be highest priority. And then depending on how well the mining goes, we might even get set up with our first little bit of automation. But that's going to require getting our hands on some redstone, and I don't know if that's going to happen quite yet. So let's just get started here. We're going to use the part builder to get ourselves a flint pickaxe head. Oh yeah, that's better than stone. And then we're going to also make ourselves some paper put all this stuff away. And then we need to get a little bit of this action going on. Let's put all of this stuff away. Keep the torches. I actually probably should do just a little bit more tree cutting before I go too far into anything. So let's go ahead and make ourselves a flint hatchet too. Gonna make ourselves a paper binding and a flint hatchet. Nope, not the stencil table. Pickaxe, stick, and hatchet. There we go. Put these away, and yeah, let's go cut down a few trees. Crops are doing alright over here, 71% and 43%. Probably start doing a little bit of crop breeding soon. That was kind of a short tree. There we go, that one was better. I really kind of wish I had some oak trees around here, so I think I'm actually going to go cut down a couple of the oak saplings that I found on the other side of the meadow over here and plant them over here. Get us some oaks growing. We're going to leave the apple trees alone though. I don't want the apple trees cut down. Let's avoid walking into the cave there. Actually, let's take a peek down in the cave and see if there's anything interesting we can see from up here. See a bunch of coal. I see some irons down there. I think that's copper. Oh, it's getting to be night. Let's head back home. We're going to go ahead and burn the hunger it takes to sprint. So I don't want to be caught out here at night with no weapon. We'll grab ourselves some apple juice. Got plenty of that left. Catch ourselves a snooze. Now we'll head out and grab ourselves some trees. On one hand, I don't like growing oak trees simply because you have the potential to get that big, gigantic, huge tree. I would quite honestly much rather have birch in the early game, but I haven't seen any birch trees. Because with birch trees, at least you know you're not going to get one of the ginormous trees. Later in the game, when you have the lumber axe, that's not such a big deal. You can deal with the ginormous trees, so whatever, bring them on. But in the early game, kind of a pain in the butt when you sitting there and all you want is just a regular tree and you get something that's a ginormous monster. Okay, this over here is just a regular oak, so we're going to cut him down. And yes, we got a sapling drop. Good. So it would be really nice to be able to get like a stack or so of charcoal in the early game. That way I'm not having to worry so much about early game power, because charcoal can take you quite a long way. I won't have to worry about like going out and gathering a shitload of coal or anything like that. I think I might just go with a half a stack for now. Hey, we got a curious hive there from Magic Bees. That's something else that I should get started on sooner rather than later this season is the bees, because it seems like bees are always like a last minute, oh, hey, yeah, let's do bees thing, and I never get too far into them, and that's something that I would really like to correct this season, so I may start bees like super early, just to put Gendustry to good use. Alright, let's take a look out this way a little bit further to the east, see if there's anything else out here to be seen. See another apple tree there. And no, it looks like this is going to be the edge of the map. I'm kind of a little bit upset that the island is this small. I would really like to have had a lot more room to explore, and I really would have liked to have had a village. Because there's no chance of me getting a village now. I'm going to have to artificially grow one if I want villagers. Which I guess isn't that big a problem. It's just kind of annoying. Okay, what do we got here? We got a cave. We have a cave with a very conveniently placed water source nearby. This is just about perfect for us because it means that we can do this. And now we have a water vader that we can use to get down. We'll stop here and pick up some iron. Ding. Somebody sent me a message on TeamSpeak. Oh, Kozak linked something in the global channel. We'll grab ourselves some copper ore. There's a little bit of coal. We'll grab that while we're here. This is where I'm wishing I had put Vein Miner into the pack. I was thinking about it. Someone said, you know, you should put Vein Miner into the pack just to save yourself some headaches while you're doing your early game exploration. I decided against it because Vein Miner makes better tools kind of pointless. It's like, why would you take the time to make a hammer if you can just walk up to a vein and obliterate it all with one shot? Or if you can just, you know, obliterate huge chunks of the wall using a regular pickaxe. So, decided against that. But now I'm almost kind of wishing I had. Okay, we got some more iron here. There's some up there we're going to want to get. There's a skeleton nearby. We're definitely going to want to grab this tin too. Early bronze is going to help us out. And then there's some Certus. We definitely want the Certus. Just one Certus? Yeah, it looks like just one Certus. There's coal there, but I don't want to load up on coal. Am I going to fall if I... Yes, I am. So we'll break that out. It'll fall down and get caught in there, and we'll just jump in the water vader to go down. Alright, let's see what there is to be seen down here. We got some lead, which I can't mine with this pickaxe. This is Tinker's Construct tin ore, so we'll go ahead and grab that. I went ahead and left the different types of ores for all of the mods enabled, as opposed to, you know, disabling all but one. Because in my experience, it gives you more to play around with. It gives you more things to find and discover while you're out. And this isn't a pack that's designed to be super hardcore on resources. So having more resources available, having them be a little bit easier to get is not a bad thing. This is more of a casual pack than anything, so I wanted resources to be abundant. Oh, there's some yellowite. We got our big reactors going there. Grab the rest of this iron up. And we got some coal, may as well grab that. Alright, what Y level are we at? We're at Y level 23, so we're already way down in the depths. So I think what I might do, what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna make myself a crafting table just to have one to take or to leave down here. We're gonna make ourselves a second furnace. We're gonna put that down right there, and then in this furnace we're gonna cook ourselves up some of this iron, and then we're gonna make a few torches out of the remainder of this coal, and we're gonna do some early mining. Need a couple more sticks. Now, I don't want to waste too much iron on making pickaxes and stuff, because a lot of iron is required to get going with some of these mods, but I definitely need at least 1 or 2 iron pickaxes in order to be able to get started with mining. So there's our iron pickaxe, and we're just going to dig right down to the diamond level from here. Hopefully we'll find us a cave, something that we can do some exploring in. I really probably should have brought some food. That's electrotine. This is a new Project Red thing. Project Red has integrated some of the functionality of the original Red Power that had to do with bluetricity. And instead of nickelite, the ore for that is called electrotine, which is what I just encountered over there. We're going to get ourselves a bit more of this coal. Replenish what we used making torches. And then we found ourselves a bit of redstone too, so we're going to go ahead and grab ourselves some redstone. Looks like just 2 pieces. There's some ferrous here. We'll definitely want that. And then put that there. There we go. And electrotine. Go ahead and grab some of that. It sounds like there is a cave nearby. Okay, we're at Y level 11. This is where we need to be. So I'm just going to go ahead and... Oh! It was destined to be. How about that? First diamonds. Right at the beginning of the exploratory mineshaft we were digging to get redstone, we found diamonds. We'll take them. We're of course going to keep digging for a little bit here, get ourselves a little more redstone. No point in going back quite yet. Cinnabar from Thaumcraft. Let's go ahead and take the flint pickaxe off of our hotbar because it's broken at the moment. Gather up some of this cadmium, even though we can't use it yet. cadmium is a Agricraft thing. That's very much a late game ore. And I'm just going to ignore this poor gold ore. It's added by Railcraft. You guys can mine it if you want, but when you smelt poor gold ore, all you get is 1 nugget of gold out of it. To me, it's not worth the time it takes to mine it. But it's one of those things where if I get it later in the game out of an automated mining machine or something, I'll take the time to process it then. Holy crap, more diamonds. Okay, we are starving, so we probably should do something to offset that. We'll nom a couple of apples. It's not going to do much though, so we're going to have to call this trip short. All the diamonds. Diamonds and redstone. We might just skip the Tinker's tools for a little bit and make ourselves a diamond pickaxe. We'll go ahead and grab that cinnabar. We'll grab this electrotine. One thing I did notice about the electrotine also that's kind of nice is that if you guys remember the glory days of red power, Nikolite was called by a lot of people to be fool's diamond because it looked a lot like diamond back in the day. And a lot of people hated it. I actually kind of liked it because it was a very good source of experience. And I'm discovering that to be the case with electrotine too. Like, you get a lot of experience mining electrotine. So to me, it seems almost like it's worthwhile to go out of your way looking for the electrotine, because that way you can get the experience and enchant some tools early. And I already have more than enough diamond to do some early tool enchanting. However, without industrial craft, I don't have any way to get early obsidian without a diamond pickaxe. Okay, there's water above that block there. I hear lava. Oh, and we flooded the tunnel. Okay, that I think is going to be where I'm going to call it for this initial little bit of mining, because I am super hungry. And I might be able to get home before hunger sets in too much. Even in normal mode, hunger can kill in this pack, so don't let yourself get too hungry. We're going to go ahead and grab this yellowite, and then we're going to get out of here. We'll have to hit those apple trees on the way home for a snack. I am, however, on the way out, going to stop and grab at least a couple of these air-infused stone. Because that's going to give us a couple of air shards that we can use for early Thaumcraft. Okay, now we need to swim. And we need to hope that our swimming doesn't exhaust too much of our food supply, because we are actually pushing it a lot closer than I wanted to. And we've got a welcoming committee. And I am being slowed from hunger. This is great. I think the zombie got washed into our ravine. This one, however, did not. It doesn't help that there's a weakness effect that comes along with it. Okay, we don't need the sand. So we're going to leave the sand Oh, we are pushing very close to the edge of disaster. I think this skeleton might actually be able to kill us. Oops, not what I meant to do, but it works. What the hell? Well, we survived. Not by much. Yeah, we'll go ahead and eat that. That might have been a mistake. Yeah, that was a mistake. Hunger is a killer in this pack. Shit! That's not what I meant to do. How did he get over there? I thought he was behind me. Okay, whatever. Just means we can sleep. First death of many, I'm sure. Like I said, guys, in the first episode, we're not playing this hardcore because if we were playing this hardcore, I wouldn't last very long. Yep, we would have gotten about halfway through episode 2, huh? Well, 3/4 of the way. I would have been alright if I had just waited. If I had just waited for day, would have been fine. I don't even get to take revenge on it. That sucks. Oh, but there's a creeper waiting to welcome me back. There we go. Okay, what don't I need? I don't need the spruce wood planks. And I don't need the seeds. So we'll leave those. Everything else we'll just head home with. Before I forget, let's go ahead and go into the map and delete that waypoint. We don't need to see where we died. Now that we've got our stuff back. We did, however, get a full bar of hunger. So I'm going to actually poke around in some of these caves on the way back and see if I can find some Certus quartz. A little bit of Certus quartz early on would be a good thing to have, especially since in order to get started with anything with applied energistics, you pretty much have to have a couple of charged Certus. Appetite. There's another magic bees hive. That's unusual. I don't see any Certus in this ravine at all. I see some ore berries down there, but no Certus. Probably should go explore some of the caves that are going through this mountain. we're close enough to the house, so I'm going to go ahead and climb this crag and take a look up here, see if there's anything to be seen. Appetite in the wall up here. Creeper. There's an overhang. There's a lot of magnetite in this area. Floating mountain. Hate floating mountains. You just stay right there. I was seriously tempted to take a look and see if I could find out a decent mod that simulates gravity and blocks, just so I could, you know, not have floating mountains, but too much of a pain. Alright, back at home base. Let's go ahead and store some of this crap. And let's get us some very basic automation going, because we got the materials we need to do it. We don't have the Certus for ore doubling though, so that's a thing. We need 3 to make a grinder, I think. Quartz grindstone, yes, 3. I wonder if there's anything in progressive automation. Is there a stone grinder? Chopper, planter, generator, crafter, animal farmer, killer. Nope, no grinder. Animal filter, adult filter, milker, shearer, RF engines, cobble gen. Okay, yeah, there's nothing there. So, I do want to get an early automated tree farm going, because I hate having to go out and look for wood. So, what we're going to do is we're going to make ourselves a chopper. Now, we have to start with the wooden chopper, which is wood, a wooden axe, a chest, and a furnace. So we need the furnace. I already had one, but who cares? We need a chest. We need a wooden axe. And we need some logs. That gets us the wooden chopper. The wooden chopper can be upgraded to a stone chopper by using a stone axe and 7 pieces of stone. So we need to smelt up some smooth stone. We're going to go ahead and get that going. We're going to use the diamond pick, I think, here to enlarge this just a little, because we need a little more cobblestone for what I'm wanting to do. And while that runs, we're going to come out here and take a look at our wheat farm, because I noticed that we have wheat that is fully grown. Right here. I'm not going to harvest it yet though. We're going to let it sit. There's a reason. I will get to it when the other one is fully grown. One thing that I do want to do with this extra 5 iron that I have though, I need to make a watering can. Now, it is going to require bone meal, so I have to have a skeleton killed first. So I guess we're not going to do that immediately. And I'm running down on 5 minutes left in this episode anyway. Wow, time flies. Alright, so we need a cobblestone pickaxe. Or a cobblestone axe, rather. That gets us that. Then we have our wooden chopper over here and some stone around it. Gets us the stone chopper. There is an iron version of it also, but it requires a block of iron an iron axe and some iron ingots, so we're not ready to get there yet. We're also going to get our flint hatchet. And we're going to come down here and we're going to set up this stone chopper. I'm thinking I'm just going to set it right here. The stone chopper, when you open it up, look, it chops. Add tools. Range is 1. It has a slot here for fuel. This slot up here is for saplings. This here is for your axe. And then this is for upgrades. And then this is the storage for the machine. So, we need to give it some saplings. We need to give it some fuel. Now, if you take a piece of coal and you put it in a furnace, this one piece of coal will smelt 8 items, right? But what if you only have 2 or 3 items to smelt? You don't want to waste a whole piece of coal. Well, progressive automation has you covered. Use a piece of coal in your inventory, you get fuel pellets, 8 of them. Each fuel pellet is good for 1 operation. It's also good for 1 operation in the chopper. So we're going to get ourselves a stack of fuel pellets, throw those in there. It says it needs an axe. We're going to give it the flint hatchet and it's going to immediately start running. Plants a sapling for us. When the sapling grows, this thing will fire itself back up and it will chop it down and store the wood and everything in here. Pretty nifty. There's also a miner, but I haven't played around too much with it yet, and there's a farmer, but in my opinion the farmer's kind of pointless unless you can upgrade it, because it only affects the block directly over it, if I remember right. Yeah, it seems kind of silly. Grab ourselves some apple juice, I guess, while we wait for night to fall. If I can see it in here. There it is. Actually, you know what? We're not going to sleep through the night. We seriously need to get ourselves some skeleton action going on. We gotta go do some fighting. Because we need bone meal. So, we're going to put ourselves a chest up here. We're going to drop off everything that's not important. Or everything that is important. We're just going to take... We're going to take our sword. We're going to take some apple juice. And that, I think, is going to be it. Now it's time to go fight. I didn't want to know how many levels I lost from that death. Hopefully not too many. I'm going to let this episode run just a little bit long. Probably get through the night and then call it in the morning. Oh, hello. Hi there. That's right. Come here. Hey, skeleton. You. Hey, you. Yeah, that's right. You. Come here. Can't see me. Now you can. There you are. Peekaboo. Haha, bones. That was faster than I thought. I think I'm going to keep fighting through the night though. Just to see if we can get us a few extra things. There's some gunpowder. Where'd you go, skeleton? He fell down there. What a derp. There's a spider down there too. I don't want anything to do with spiders. I have no idea what causes these. It's just... It's a hole filled with water that goes the whole way down to bedrock. I don't know what causes it. But it seems kind of silly. Yeah, let's not fight through the night. Let's go ahead and show you guys a little bit of Agricraft, or at least show you the basic concept of it, and then I will call the episode and do a little bit of work off camera, and then we'll come back. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, I'm going to take some wood, I'm going to make a wooden bowl. That's right, gotta use slabs. Agricraft adds a recipe that replaces the original bowl recipe, so you have to use slabs instead to make your bowls. A bowl, piece of bone meal, 4 iron ingots is going to get us a watering can. We're going to take the bone meal out with us, and we're also going to need these other 2 crop sticks and our mattock. Now we're going to come over here and we're going to water this wheat after we fill our watering can. We're going to water this wheat until it gets... No! What an asshole! Oh look, iron. Hashtag Creeper Mafia. Alright, one thing to note with the watering can, if you're trying to use it on a crop stick and you right click, you're just gonna flail around. You have to actually hold shift to start watering, and then you can let go. There we go. 2 mature wheat seeds. Alright? We're going to go ahead and hoe that. Then we're going to put a crop stick on it, and then we're going to right click it with another crop stick, and that's going to make a crossbreeding stick. For anyone who's played with industrial craft, you know that if you have a crossbreeding stick between 2 plants, you can get something in the middle. Now, why would you bother crossbreeding seeds? Let me show you. We need an analyzer, which is a stone slab, a wooden slab, a glass pane, some sticks, and some wood. So, really easy to make. I hope I have enough sand for this. I don't think I do. So let's come over here and get some of the sand that I saw over here. We're going to need at least 6 pieces of sand, so I'll just go ahead and grab 6. We'll go into the assumption that I have 0. Okay, we're going to toss the sand in here. And we're going to toss in a bunch of these fuel pellets. 1 fuel pellet will smelt 1 piece of sand. So that's going to be good for us. We're also going to need some stone slabs. We're going to need another wooden plank. And we're going to need some sticks. So there's our cobblestone slab. We're just waiting on glass. Can't believe the creeper blew up. What a prick. Let's go get this iron out of it and fill it back up. Is our rig here done any work yet? No. So let's grab the watering can and water this sapling so that you guys can see this thing in action. That'd be a good way for us to burn a couple of minutes. Or you're not going to grow. Yeah, tell me the sapling's not going to grow. Oh, there we go. Okay, but yeah, take a look. The chopper is actually cutting it down. It strips all the leaves, and then it chops the wood, and it stores it all in its inventory, and then it plants the sapling, and it stores the wood and everything in there for you. Pretty cool. And it's really cheap for an early automated source of farming. Okay. I'll do a better job of plugging this up later. Okay. By now, our glass ought to be completely done. So we're going to make this into glass panes. If I get the recipe right. A glass pane, 3 sticks, stone slab, wooden slab, and 2 pieces of wood. Gets you a seed analyzer, which I'm going to put right down here, right next to my little impromptu garden. Now, this seed we're going to leave up here. We're going to go ahead and break out these 2 seeds. We're going to get some wheat, and we're going to get these seeds back. If we identify these seeds in the seed analyzer, you're going to see that they are growth 1, gain 1, strength 1. Let's go ahead and get them replanted. If we analyze this seed, we're going to see that this is growth 1, gain 2, strength 1. So this seed is actually a little bit better. Let's plant him instead. And we're going to bone meal these 2 plants back to maturity. We're going to get ourselves another crop stick. You can see why we're going to need a lot of wood. 1 piece of wood is 2 crop sticks. So we're definitely going to want a lot of wood. But we're going to put another crossbreeding stick on there, and then we're going to water this again. And we almost instantly get some seeds. These seeds were analyzed. They're 111, so they're no use to us anymore. Put these seeds in here. These are 232. So this is a drastic improvement. Put that down, plant that. We're going to watering can these back to full maturity. Really wish I had a little bit more bone meal, but beggars can't be choosers. Watering can definitely works in the early game. And hey, we got a couple of plants too. There we go, full maturity. Crop sticks in. Watering can them. We got seeds again. Analyze these seeds. 243. So again, an improvement. Throw out the ones. Break the lower yield ones. Plant those and repeat. These plants can get up to 10, 10, 10. And at 10 growth, they grow really fast. 10 gain, you get 4 wheat per harvest instead of 1. And 10 strength, they become almost immune to weeds taking over, so you don't have to pay quite as much attention if you're leaving empty crop sticks around. You still want to keep an eye on them, but it's less likely to get overrun by weeds. Anyway, this is the basis of Agricraft, and what I'm going to do off camera is I'm going to actually grow these wheat seeds until we hit straight 10s on them. Because I want a good source of food in the early game, and wheat seeds, a good reliable source of wheat, goes a long way towards survivability, especially in this, because with wheat you can make bread, with bread you can make toast, and with toast you can survive basically forever. There are better foods, and we'll get there, but I think right now I'm just going to work on getting some wheat. So I'm going to do that off camera, because sitting here watching me break seeds and water them and break seeds, it's going to be boring. I don't want to put you guys through that. So I'm wrapping up the episode here. This has been Nightdagger with episode 2 of season 5 of Modded Minecraft. Hope you guys are enjoying the series so far. And when we come back, I think we'll get started with some entry-level Botania. So hope you guys are looking forward to that, and I'll catch you later, peeps.